Choosing the right business name is both an art and a science. It's your business's introduction to the world, signaling your brand's identity, values, and promise. But if that identity, those values, and that promise are out of alignment with your customer base, well, you're not going to be open very long. But how can you be sure that your name or product resonates with your audience? In this quest, feedback is invaluable. It's not just about a cool name or a product idea. It's about trust, relevance, emotional connection. No, not psychic connection, emotional connection. So let's talk about how to collect and properly use customer feedback. This is a practical guide you can use to pick your business name, of course, but you can also use these steps to test a product before launch, the effectiveness of a marketing campaign, and so much more. I'm Jake from Business Name Generator, and let's learn about collecting customer feedback. As a videographer, I get feedback on the regular, and I get it. It's not always fun to read it. And if you're one of those random people that enjoys reading it, well, good on you. But for me, before I do something that I really don't want to do, I have to know why. And just like with anything else, I ran a search to find out what's up. And wow, feedback really is important to some high-profile brands. Here's some highlights. HubSpot CEO Brian Halligan said, "Feedback is the breakfast of champions." And there's data to back that up. A study from eMarketer states that 73% of consumers worldwide expect companies to understand their unique needs and expectations. Both Hootsuite and MechLabs, for one of their clients, were able to leverage feedback to lift conversions by double digits. And Canon was able to increase their ROI by 700% in the UK using customer feedback. Reviewing all the information, we see that feedback is not just a bunch of opinions. The opinions contain insights into what your customers need, expect, and value. And we can use that information to accomplish business goals like a successful marketing campaign or a product launch, or you can even use it to pick your business name. Speaking of which, once you collect all of your customer feedback and analyze it, use our AI-powered business name generator to better refine your search and find a name that'll tap into those needs, values, and expectations. So with the why out of the way, I set out to find out the how. So what are the best ways to collect customer feedback painlessly and efficiently? We found that there are a lot of methods you can use to collect customer feedback data. And what may work for one business may not necessarily work for another. So to cover everyone watching, let's break down the methods of collecting customer feedback. Each method falls into two categories. We have direct approaches like surveys and interviews, and indirect methods like analyzing social media interactions and online reviews. Let's go with the direct approaches first. And we're going to look at some examples of how businesses have used these methods to refine their branding strategies. A customer satisfaction survey can help you gauge your customer's immediate reaction, and it can help you obtain specific feedback. Want to know if your customer likes using your product? Put it on a survey. Want to know if your customers felt a sense of urgency when watching your ad? Put it on a survey. Want to know if your customers think your business name McDowell's sounds too much like McDonald's and might get you sued? Of course it will. But put it on a survey. You can also use surveys for general feedback, brand awareness, and even lead generation. And there's so many benefits to using this feedback collection method. It's cost efficient, it's not time consuming, your customers can be anonymous and honest, and with email tools like Beehive, you can collect and track the data with ease. Companies like McDonald's, Starbucks, Dove, Lego, they all use surveys on a daily basis to gauge everything from product quality to the effectiveness of their employee uniforms. Next up is our other direct method, interviews and focus groups. I'm going to be honest, starting my research on interviews and focus groups, I had one thought, like, get real. Small enterprises and entrepreneurs really going to do anything other than send out a few emails and, do a survey on social media. But after doing some reading, I found out that's a big mistake. Did you know a focus group actually saved Domino's Pizza from going under back in 2009? Yeah, interviews and focus groups offer highly in-depth insights. Imagine sitting down with a group of your target customers and discussing the usefulness of one of your products or a potential name, and you get to watch their reactions in real time. You can conduct focus groups online or in person, individually or in groups, structured or unstructured, moderated or self-administered. And we could do a whole other video on the processes and their positives and negatives, but we won't take up too much of your time here. Instead, let's focus on their cost effectiveness, because so many solopreneurs think that they don't have access to this data because it's too expensive. You'll still need to spend a little more on a focus group, but with tools like Focus Vision and iTracks, small businesses are finding it more affordable than ever. And now we move over to indirect methods. For those here looking for a business name, we found that these indirect methods don't really apply here because you're still in the early stages of business development. But early stage small businesses looking to validate their branding or to test a product can find treasure troves of unsolicited customer feedback in social media channels, online reviews, and in forums like Reddit and Quora. If you don't have this type of feedback, then it's really time for you to review your online marketing practices. You can use tools like Mentions, Sprout Social, and Google Alerts to automate the tracking of brand mentions, product feedback, and customer concerns across the internet. A negative review on Google Maps or Reddit or a critical tweet can offer you insights on potential issues with a product or service. And on the other side, positive feedback can let you know what your business is doing right. This method offers you a significant advantage: unfiltered opinions. And you won't always get those through direct methods like surveys and interviews. You probably already know that tools like Google Analytics, Matomo, and HubSpot allow businesses to see how users interact with their site, which pages hold their attention, where they drop off, and how often they convert. But instead of reading these analytics in black and white, view them as a form of feedback. By analyzing how users interact with your brand online, you can understand which aspects attract more, and then you can highlight those areas with targeted marketing. On the flip side, a high bounce rate on a product page might indicate unclear information or pricing. And from there, it's up to you to review and do whatever you need to do to meet your customers' expectations. We reviewed some top web analytics tools, and there are 3 tools that really stood out to us: Hotjar for website heat maps, UserBrain for UX and UI, and FullStory for replaying user sessions. One way you could use this method to test a business name is to create 2 different landing pages with the 2 different business names and see how well the customers interact with the different pages. Many of you can probably already identify that as an A/B test, and we recommend HubSpot as a prime choice for anyone looking to do these types of tests. Using these methods, you'll collect a lot of data. So it's time to sift through the information and see what it says about your business, product, or campaign. And here's some steps you can take to leverage things. Identify common themes and look for recurring feedback or suggestions to prioritize changes. If 72% of the people in your survey or focus group agree on something, then it's probably a good idea to hone in on that information. Engage with your customers, and this is where indirect feedback can be very helpful. So respond to reviews and social media posts to show customers that you value their input. Implement changes. Use the feedback to make informed decisions about product improvements, website updates, customer service adjustments, and more. If you survey 100 people about your business name and 88% of them say that they don't understand it, well, you may want to change the business name. And if the same number of people said that your product malfunctions within 2 weeks, well, you may want to check with your supplier or look at your manufacturing process. Test and learn. After making adjustments, continue to collect feedback to see if the adjustments are having the desired effect. This might involve A/B testing on your websites or some follow-up surveys with your customers. As a videographer, I use this method on the regular to test which thumbnails work best on our channel. Obviously, you can use customer feedback for something specific, like testing a business name. But from our research, collecting and asking for customer feedback should be a cyclical process, regardless of the size of your business. Remember, now most customers expect companies to understand their unique needs and expectations. So to recap, feedback can help you meet customer needs, improve products and services, and increase conversions. And 2 categories of feedback collection are direct and indirect. And the key methods of data collection are surveys, interviews, focus groups, monitoring social media, online reviews and forum, and web analytics. All of this is a simplification, but by employing direct and indirect feedback, companies can gain a better understanding of their customer experience. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, give us a like, subscribe, and share with your friends who you think would be interested in some business insights. We've got a lot more tips and more business topics coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching again. Catch you next time.